Hey guys, what's going on? So you've just started Super Monster League and you're not sure what to do. In this video will be helpful tips to not only get you started, but help you out in the long run as well. One thing to note before we start is that a lot of the topics I talk about here will eventually have much more in-depth videos, especially for that topic. So if you don't want to miss them, make sure to subscribe. First, send as many friend requests as possible. Having friends comes with many benefits. Not only can you take their main Astromon to many places with you to help out, but having a full list of 50 means you can get over 10,000 gold every day and 50 Astro Gems every 5 days. Let's start with the core of the game, the Astromon. While out playing in the story mode, you have opportunities to capture Astromons with special chips, each costing 500 coins, and you can only carry 3 per battle. When you have the option to do so, you should make sure autofill Astro Chips is always on. There are some exceptions to the rule I'm about to tell you, but you shouldn't be catching any normal Astromons. The exceptions are: 1. If a mission requires that you capture a certain Astromon or a certain number of them, go ahead and do so. 2. If you're still early on and you want fruit to level up your Astromon, you can capture normal ones and release them, typically getting fruit in return. And the third exception is for Astro Gems, which you will get for capturing any new ones, as well as a method that I'll go over in the future. So one of the most important things in the game is energy, noted by these wings up here. What to spend your energy on, you ask? Most of your time in the beginning will be spent doing your missions, up here in the missions tab. This should be your highest priority, since you can get a lot of rewards. When the next mission becomes too hard, you can step back and farm an easier map to level up your Astromons. Energy can be spent in many different ways, but I'll make a more detailed video about that in the future. You'll probably notice when you first gain control, your inbox is flooded with lots of goodies. I recommend to leave all energy and any Astromon League tickets alone for now. They stay in your inbox for 6 days, giving you plenty of time to actually need them. Both of those resources not only replenish over time, but also every time you level up. In the beginning, you will be leveling up faster than you can use those resources, so it's a waste to grab them as soon as you can. Let's move on to gold. Gold is insanely useful for getting stronger. You can use it to feed your Astromons fruit, to level up their gems, to ascend them to their next star level, to evolve them, to buy items from the Shady Shop, and many other things. Considering how much everything costs as you get further and further into the game, you must use it wisely. Astro Gems are the premium currency of the game, and getting free Astro Gems is quite easy, especially when you're first starting out. They can come from many different places, like completing certain quests, capturing or summoning Astromons for the first time, every week from the Astromon League, special events, and of course just buying them. I recommend spending your first few thousand Astro Gems on summoning from the special shop. This should give you a nice repertoire of Astromon to build your team. Also, since many of them will be new, you will get some Astro Gems back by filling out parts of your Astro Guide. The 10+1 option for 600 gems gives you a free variant Astromon, which will have a special skill that can benefit your whole team when placed in the first spot of your team. So obviously I recommend saving 600 Astro Gems before summoning. After a while, and when you think you have a decent team and you're a bit higher level, it's time to start considering to use your Astro Gems for energy instead of summons. Like I said earlier, you can do so much with energy, and it's pretty much needed to even play. You should never buy the first option, 20 gems for 20 energy. The second option will always be better since it gives you an additional 30 energy for free. You can also buy gold with Astro Gems, but I strongly advise not doing this, as the value simply isn't there. You can get way more gold by using the Astro Gems for energy and farming pretty much any map that drops gems, and then selling unwanted ones. More so if you farm the Golem dungeon. Also, never buy Astromon League tickets. Ever. Please. Now let's talk about gems. Not Astro Gems, but these little guys you equip into your Astromons to make them stronger. There are several different types of gems covering all 7 stat types: HP, attack, defense, recovery, critical chance, critical damage, and resist. The first 4 stats have 2 types of gems: percent based and flat numbers. Flat numbers are better in the beginning as they scale better than percent-based until you have very high base stats. Deciding which gems are best for a certain Astromon is usually a pretty difficult thing to do. The main things you want to look at before going for a gem set are their type and skills. If it's a tank, it will have naturally higher HP, so if you're using flat numbered gems, you can either decide to boost its HP even more to make it a super tank, or fill in some of its weaknesses by using attack gems to make it more balanced, and so on. If you're using percent-based gems, it's typically better to go with their strength. In the tank's case, it will be HP, as it scales better, for obvious reasons. I'll stop there and go into more detail in the future. Evolution and Ascension are two ways to make an Astromon much stronger. They are both quite expensive when it comes to gold, but for your favorite mons, it's definitely worth it. Evolution has 3 stages. Evolution 1 is where the Astromon starts. After fusing 3 of the same Astromon into it and hitting the Evolution button, it becomes Evolution 2. Getting to Evolution 3 is the same procedure, but instead of just needing 3 of the same Astromon, you now need all of them to be Evolution 2. So in total, you're turning 16 Astromons into 1 for the final evolution. Every Astromon you put into another makes it a little bit stronger, with significant stat boosts at Evo 2 and 3. They will also change their appearance and attack animations, or even hit counts as you evolve them. One thing to note is that Astromons you fuse do not need to be the same element. Ascension is much simpler and much more resource-based. It can also get very expensive, and if you don't have the correct starstones, you will need to visit the appropriate starstone dungeon on the right day to get them. Ascension raises the level cap of an Astromon, thus making it stronger. To qualify for Ascension, the Astromon just needs to be at its current max level. On to dungeons. Again, there are many different types of dungeons. The first one here is the Starstone Dungeon. You'll need to visit here if you want to keep ascending your Astromons. Besides gold, it's what all Astromons need to ascend to their next star level. Under that are element-specific Starstone Dungeons. Today is Sunday, so this dungeon will randomly drop fire, water, and wood starstones. You will need these starstones in addition to the normal ones, depending on the element of that Astromon. Monday through Friday feature the 5 elements of starstones, 1 each day. Under that we have the Gold Dungeon. I highly recommend doing as many of these as possible every day, because the amount of gold you get to the energy needed is very good. You can potentially get 66,000 gold for 18 energy. Guardian Dungeons appear randomly when you or someone on your friends list is playing story mode. These feature different Astromons. You can get soul stones of the shown Astromon, and when you have enough soul stones, you can summon them from the summon window. And finally we have the Golem Dungeon. Here's where you can get some very powerful gems from very powerful bosses. Some types of gems are only found here and nowhere else as well. It's also the best place to farm gold if you sell the gems. That is, if you can beat it. Dragon Dungeon is coming out in the next update, and I covered that in my last video. Tower of Chaos is pretty self-explanatory. You fight battles and get rewards. Notable rewards are at every 10 floors, but it's insanely difficult without very strong Astromons and an appropriate team. Lastly, we have the Astromon League. This is the PvP place, where you put your team versus another player's team. You get League medals by playing, which is a special type of currency. You can buy special Astromons called Gleams once a week from the shop. These little guys act as a wild card for evolution. So let's say you have an Evolution 1 Fire-type Astromon, you can buy a Fire-type Gleam and use it as a replacement. The Gleams only work on Evolution 1 Astromons though, something to keep in mind. You can also buy eggs like I have done, but from here on out I will be only buying the Gleams every week in hopes something better will show up eventually. Eggs are great, but not worth the cost in my opinion. Every week you are also rewarded Astro Gems based on how many league points you had at the end of the week. This chart shows how many you will get by getting to a certain league. Anyway, I guess that is about it for today. I know there are a lot more things I could talk about more in detail, but I believe many of those things need specific videos made on them. When they do come out, I'll leave them in their appropriate place in the description down below. I really hope this helped in some way or was at least enjoyable to watch. If it was, I would really appreciate if you left a like. Thanks as always for watching, and until next time, like natural 3-star monsters like Kokomaru, Siren, Lat, Mona, Cosmos, and basically the monsters you can capture in the story mode will become much stronger, So this is really good news for those of us that have captured and raised those you can find in the story mode. They'll also be readjusting natural 5-star Astro Mons, like Arthur will have an increase in damages and his skills.